Hey guys, what's going on? Doing a bit of a different video here this time, man. Me and my son here are just kind of kicking it because my girl is doing Girl Scout cookie patrol or whatever today for an hour, so we're just kicking it. I figured this was as good as a time as any to give you all a little bit of an update on what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing with some of the used Hellcats out there. I've been looking a lot in the last 2 weeks. I've actually looked at 5 of them, I think, 5, maybe 6 of them. Went on one test drive. The other ones I either just looked at or inquired about, in person, and went over with the salesman or salesperson or what have you. Got some appraisals on my vehicle just to get a sense of what trade-in numbers are looking like and that type of thing. But anyway, I just wanted to share a couple of impressions of things of what I'm getting. Because it's one thing to look online and look at prices and have an idea in your mind of what negotiations in person would actually look like, and it's another thing to actually get out there, see the vehicle, hear the numbers that are being pitched, both in terms of a trade-in and in terms of vehicle price for the one that you're looking at, and so forth. So here are a couple of quick takeaways. Number one, you get what you pay for. Though it's definitely true that the prices on Hellcats are going down and you can get them for as cheap as low 40s. You're definitely not buying a brand new car. You're definitely not buying necessarily a low mileage car either. If somebody, at least at this point right now, and right now is the end of February, it's February 24th, 2018. At this point right now, if you're seeing a Challenger Hellcat that's being offered for like $42,000, $43,000, that's not from a private seller, from a dealership, you can count on there either being something wrong with it, or a lot of miles on it, or several owners on it, or it was a fleet vehicle or a rental, or some combination of all those things. Now, I know that's a no-brainer for those of us who track these things carefully, but I'm really kind of amazed. Oh, that's great, honey. Wow.
60.
Yeah. Got to be dad, right? Or some combination of those things. And one thing I'm seeing now that I really didn't pay too much mind to, it's hard to pay mind to when you're looking at things online, is what's the condition of the car actually look like? What's the paint look like? I looked at one car the other day. The salesman was telling me, like via text and stuff, oh yeah, man, this thing's been taken care of real well. The guy took real care of it. I don't know about you guys, but one of the first things I look at is the wheels, because as we know, especially if you have the stock pads on these cars, on these 6-piston Brembos, you get a lot of dust. And I'm looking at the wheel first thing out of the gate, man, and I'm going, man, I don't know what your definition of taking care of this thing is, but this person definitely did not keep up on keeping the brake dust up, and keeping the wheels clean, because it was just like caked. It was like a inner ring inside the wheel. You can tell they never, or very rarely, got in there and cleaned up on it. Little details like that make a difference to me. I'm sure to a lot of you too. So. And then just like the paint and stuff like that. And this is especially true, I think, with the black ones, because obviously black shows blemishes, swirl marks, scratches, road chips, all that other type of stuff more than any of the other colors. And man, I looked at a black one. In fact, me and John and his little sister went on a test drive recently in one of them. And while it was a lot of fun, and while the interior of the car was fun, and while it actually ran great, I'm standing outside looking at the car and I'm going, I can't trade mine in for this, because mine looks just so much better than this, like this one just had little nicks in it all over, and little touch-up paint here and there. And I mean, it wasn't bad, but if I'm spending that kind of money on a car, man, I want it to look good, there's no question about it. So that was a really big takeaway. Another thing too, in a couple of instances I've noticed this now, just in terms of talking turkey with dealerships, they know that they're offering really low prices on these cars. If they're asking mid-40s for a used Hellcat, they know that they're offering a 700 plus horsepower performance vehicle at a really great price. Even if the thing is worn and has got you know, multiple previous owners and other type of stuff, that's still a bargain by anybody's measure, right? And so they know that, and so I'm seeing they're not being as flexible in terms of negotiating prices downward. So if they're advertising a price, you know, before, you know, with other cars, as I have found, even other challengers, even SRTs, you can expect to be able to negotiate downward, you know, get more for your trade-in as well. I've been able to make some progress on getting appraisals up from their initial offers, you know, sometimes as much as $3,000, which is pretty awesome. But in terms of adjusting downward, not much at all. $1,000, maybe $1,500 here or there. And when I go and I look at a car, you know, I'm looking to make a deal, you know, and to see how we can do. My car, for example, I got down $4,000 from their asking price. Now this was over the course of some weeks, and they really wanted to just get the car off of their lot, but I was able to do it, and they moved up a little bit on my trade-in value. It was well worth the wait. But I'm noticing with these Hellcats, at least now at this point, they're not all that interested in it. Another thing I'm realizing too has got to do with the refurbishment costs. Okay, the money that dealership has got to put into a car to get it ready to be sold. You're putting a lot of wear and tear on a car like this, man. You know, you've got to expect that dealership, when after it gets traded in, is going to have to spend some dollars getting it, you know, not showroom ready, but, you know, ready to be sold, you know, and looking good, cleaned up, any replacement parts, tires, all that other type of stuff. As you know, you wear through tires real quickly, so just about all of them have got brand new rubber on it, and they got to make up for that cost. So, you know, again, that is a really strong contributing factor to these, to there not being a whole lot of negotiating room. And I found that even in the case with some that have been sitting on the lot. I found one that was literally sitting on a lot for 16 months. And I thought, oh, this is a no-brainer, right?
I found the bag.
Yeah, hon.
And guess what? It's
What?
more like a shirt.
It is more like a shirt. It's silly. Being dad once again. But anyway, it's been sitting there for 16 months, and I thought, dude, I'm here. Like, I'm offering you a reasonable price. I'm pulling up comps in the area, or like within 100 miles, that are offering much better deals than what you're offering. You're offering me a really good price on my trade-in. You know, I got both sets of my keys with me, man. I'm like ready to go. You know, you just need to come down a little bit more. And they dropped a bit, but then they weren't willing to go any more than that. And they're still above market price for the miles and so forth. So, you know, it's an odd time. It's definitely a different type of vehicle to be trying to purchase used. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Hit me up in the comments there. Let me know what you guys are seeing. I'm still on the hunt. One other quick thing I want to mention. I went on a test drive. I actually had my kids with me the other day, and it was quite an experience. We didn't go crazy because I had my kids with me, and I didn't know the area, and I wasn't about to do extreme driving with the kids in the car in an area where I didn't know there might be cops and that type of stuff, right? The funny thing about the Hellcat is that it's, you hear about how drivable it is, and, you get behind it and you give it a little bit of throttle, and, you kind of feel it's got power, but you don't really lay into it. I didn't really lay into it. I mean, I wasn't doing burnouts in the thing, but I was testing it a little bit here and there, and I was kind of like, okay, I feel the power, but, I remember it was kind of like the difference between, when I had an RT and I test drove an SRT8, I was like, okay, the power is definitely there. Like, I'm not blown away by it, but I'm not like, but it's definitely there. And then we turned onto a highway, and I had a chance to open it up a bit more. And let me just say, man, you definitely feel the difference. Like, it's a really cool experience. And I have to tell you the other thing too, the supercharger, I'm not a big fan of supercharger wines. I'm really not, but I'm very quickly becoming one, because I was giggling driving this thing, man, because you know it's a little added thing because you know the exhaust on the Hellcat sounds great to begin with, right? So you're still getting that badass V8 sound out of the back, and it kind of reverberates through the cab. So I mean, you're hearing it, man. When you open it up, you're hearing it, but you're also hearing this little whine, and it's a really interesting complementary mix of these sounds. And I don't know, man. This is old news. The Hellcat's been out for a while. I know a lot of people love the supercharger whine, and to them it's like, duh, yeah, of course. But for me, I'm now sold on it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I got to be dad again here. Hit me up in the comment section again. Let me know what you guys are seeing, and especially if you're going on test drives or if you're negotiating, what your experience has been, and I'll do the same. Thanks.